Hey guys, and thanks for tuning in to the next class guide for Medal of Honor Warfighter. We did the Point Man class last time, but in this episode we are going to cover the Spec Ops class, and what's good and of course what's bad with it. So let's get started. So the Spec Ops class is a very useful and attack-minded class. Now the main benefit of the Spec Ops class is its sprint speed. It's the fastest class in the game, and it's very noticeable as well. So this class very much lends itself to a certain type of role. You know, it's very good at flanking and getting around the back of the enemy, or indeed getting to like a certain objective a lot faster than you would have otherwise been able to with any other class. So for instance, on Home Run, for example, using the Spec Ops class to get to the flag before the defending team can get set up. Of course, assuming they don't have the Spec Ops class enabled as well. Now, of course, there's a trade-off for this speed, and it comes with the Spec Ops class's armor and weaponry. As a downside to the increased speed, you do have less armor as the Spec Ops class, so you will tend to die easier in an out-and-out gunfight with a more powerful class, which is why you have to play to the class strengths. It's really not meant for head-on attacking against more powerful classes. Now, the weaponry you tend to find within the Spec Ops class is smaller SMGs and more compact versions of the other assault rifles that you'll find in the other classes. In this video, I'm actually using the bullpup variant of the AK-103 that I was using in the Point Man video, if you saw that video. I'm using this weapon just because I really enjoy it. It's very similar to the standard AK-103 that I was using, and I really like that AK, and I like this bullpup variant as well. Not quite as powerful, because it's a smaller variant and not maybe as accurate, but still a very, very good gun. You know, it's got a bit of punch to it, it's got a bit of feel to it. As a side note as well, the grenades on the Spec Ops class are standard frag grenades. So the special ability of the Spec Ops class is a rather unique one and highly useful one at that. Possibly one of the most useful in the entire game, in fact. It's called Signal Scan, and you'll be able to see me using it a fair bit in this video. Essentially, when you use it, it shows very briefly where enemies are through walls and other objects. It's only for a split second, but it allows you to quickly gauge where the enemy is, and if the enemy is close, you can pretty much tell exactly where they are. It does take some time to replenish though, so use it wisely, and once you've used it, it'll take some time to reload before you can use it again. So let's move on to support actions for the Spec Ops class. On the first tier, you've got the radar jammer as the offensive action and a smoke screen as a defensive action. Now we know the smoke screen is fairly standard among most of the classes, but the radar jammer isn't. It kind of does what it says. You put it down on the floor and it will basically it'll block the radar in that specific area or around that surrounding area. The next tier gives you a 120mm dragon fire for the offensive action, and a fire team replenish as the defensive action. So the 120mm dragon fire is kind of like a mortar type explosion that you can drop in on a certain area, which is really effective for clearing out an area or defending a flag. Of course, the fire team replenish, being the defensive action, is for completely replenishing everything on your fire team. So from ammo to your special ability items such as hard-hitting ammo, and proximity grenades if you're a point man and sniper respectively. So next up the chain we have the A10 Warthog. If you want some offensive action, you can laser a certain area and the Warthog will come in and do a strafing run on that area. Now the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that I do use an A10 in this video, and I do kill myself with my own A10, so beware of where you place it, unlike me. Now, if you'd rather do a defensive action on this tier, much like the Point Man class, you can deploy an RQ-7 Shadow, which is pretty much an advanced UAV. And, of course, the last tier is the Apache Gunship, which you can use for both offensive and defensive. Useful in blasting the hell out of people, but in my experience, it's very clunky, and it's hard to use effectively, and it's quite easy to shoot down as well. So that pretty much covers the Spec Ops class. It's a very effective class when used correctly. You just have to remember to play to the class's strengths, as unlike other classes which can do many things, you know, the Assaulter class, which is a good all-round class, the Spec Ops needs to take into account its lower armor and more medium-range weapons before engaging into a gunfight. So as always, I'm going to take you to the weapon screen and show you exactly what weapon I was using in this game, and that's where we'll finish up. So here we are in game, and I'm just going to run over with you guys the weapon that I was using. Now, it's actually the sword I was using was the US OGA Spec Ops. I've got quite a few unlocked now, but this dude he looked quite cool. So that's the one I decided to play with. To be honest, they don't really make that much difference. You know, you unlock some guns with them, but other than that, they're all, you know, there's no real difference in how the units actually play, in case you were wondering. So the actual weapon that I was playing with was the AK-103 Bullpup. So this is the beast here. In terms of optics, I was using the Cobra Red Dot sight. Well, Cobra Red Dot. I don't know why it's called a red dot, because there is no red actual dot, but either way. I was using the lightweight barrel. You can use the, I think that's the shotgun barrel as well. Or it might be a, no, it's a light, isn't it? Yeah, I wasn't using the light. Muzzle, I was using the standard compensator. Again, I'm a little bit confused by these attachments because you've got a compensator and you've got the muzzle brake, but they don't seem to change the weapon at all, so I'm guessing it's just for aesthetics. I was using the standard bullpup stock. You can add a sling strap if you so choose. Awesome. Amazing. Magazine, I was using the standard one, but you can have the Bakelite magazine if you want. And I think I wasn't actually using that one in the video. It's changed for some reason. I was using the, which one was it? Pine Needles. No, it wasn't that one. Yeah, it was Green Honeycomb. That's the one I was using. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you find this informative. I'm going to be doing all the other classes as well. The game has got a lot of bad press lately, and yes, there are lots of flaws with the game, and it is not as good as it could have been. However, it is still fun to play, so I'm going to continue to do these videos for you guys that are enjoying the game. So like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.